a show that tackles the big issues affecting the BVI and the rest of the Caribbean. Searches for answers to today's big questions and gives viewers a unique perspective on developing stories. Follow the big story with me, Kathy Richards, only on JTV. This show is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Cyril B. Ramney Tertola Pier Park, NV Salon Spa Nail and Barbershop, HOV Medical, and Digicel. Sign up for Digicel Plus Home Light Bundles, faster internet, movies, and sports. This is The Big Story. I'm Kathy Richards. Thank you so much for joining us for this edition. Today with me in studio is a woman, a young woman, and I categorize her as a very, very strong, bold young woman, because you know there's so many issues that we as female face in our lives, and we would have grown up in an era and in a space where, you know, we shut them down. We are afraid to speak about it. We are, in some cases, in days past, not even allowed to speak about these issues publicly, and hence stigma and discrimination take them over. But that is being broken. Yeah. Armoy, James-Ibechem, yes. Mrs. Curvy, yes. 2024, 25. Yes. Welcome to The Big Story. And again, I want to salute your boldness in presenting yourself with the challenge you face as a woman on a global stage.
Thank you so much, Kathy, for having me. And you know, it's good to be here to share my story. This is a journey for me, and you know, I always knew that PCOS was supposed to be bigger than me, and so I think this is my time. So I'm glad to be here.
So for those of us who do not know what PCOS
is, yes, lots of letters.
Yes. Tell us what it is.
So PCOS is just an abbreviation for polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is a metabolic disorder that affects women of reproductive age. So essentially, it just makes it a little harder for us to have these babies that we want to have. You know, it disrupts our cycle, and it's a thing that's not talked about because nobody wants to talk about their menstrual cycle in public. Yes. You know, it's a thing like, you got your period, you go to the side, you don't talk about it, you know, go to the bathroom, you handle that yourself. But yeah, it's something that has a lot of stigma attached to it, especially the infertility side of it. There's a lot of stigma attached to that. But, you know, I felt like PCOS is so much more than that. You know, there's so much that goes along with it. And because it's not talked about, people don't know. And they suffer in silence. So I feel like it's my job to educate the community and help women, you know, along. Let them know that you're more than PCOS. You're bigger than it, you know?
Yes, and it was just recently that you got married. And yes. You know, one of the big things when we see persons get married, especially when you're this young, it's like, oh, soon come the baby.
Yes, yeah. And I mean, I guess if my new last name is any indication, I didn't marry an African man. He is very Nigerian. And so, you know, if you know anything about their culture, getting married, having babies, it's their thing, it's their way. And so for me, when we were dating, you know, even when we got engaged, that was a thing that I was like, oh my gosh, how do I tell him?
Oh, so you did not tell him in the early stages?
I didn't. Oh. I was ashamed because, you know, it's like, I don't want him to feel like I have a problem. I didn't want to feel like I had a problem, you know? And so I kind of just downplayed it. I love kids. If anybody who knows it, I love kids. I have a whole heap of godkids. I love kids. And so, you know, I would always talk about it. And when we got engaged, I was like, I need to say something, you know? He's very African. He's going to be wanting these kids. And so, you know, I explained to him. Of course, it took a lot to explain exactly what was going on with me. And his response kind of just gave me the comfort that I needed, you know?
Was it?
So he basically told me, I'm marrying you for you, not your womb.
Oh,
You know, so I was like,
sweet.
man, you want to marry me now? So, you know, that was comfort I needed. And throughout this process, he has been so supportive of me, making sure that I'm good. Always asking, baby, you sure you want to do this? You sure you want to talk about this? You know, and just always have my back. So I have him in my corner. So I feel like I could definitely go through with everything.
Okay, and was that one of the factors that prompted you to go on that stage to vie to become a Mrs. Curvy 2024?
I would say definitely. I also took a page from the past Mrs. BVI Globe, Dr. Arlene Penn. I followed her journey almost like a stalker. I was so inspired by her because I felt like in a moment where you're so vulnerable about your reproductive health, you could help so many people in your vulnerable state. And, you know, for me, it just solidified that Armoy, you have to be that voice. You have to be the one that does it for others.
Awesome.
So he was one, and then Dr. Arlene, she really did inspire me.
Awesome. And you know, since you were crowned, so many conversations have been coming up around this issue, and I was like so amazed when talking about I was telling someone about you and the testimony that you give, and the young woman said, you know, I really wanted an opportunity to talk about this because I am one of those women who suffered this, and you know what Armoy has done has given me the boldness to now come forward. And she even went as far to say she wants to collaborate with you to, you know, help push this. And on this platform, this is one of the things that I love about the Win BVI, the Mrs. Globe pageant. It's not about the beauty and the poise and the all of that.
Circumstance.
It is it's what you promote. It's your advocacy of what you do, and you are using this stage at every advantage. And I'm thanking Dr. Arlene Penn so much for being so bold on this, to the extent that this weekend you're having one of your first biggest events. You want to tell us about it?
So this weekend on April 7th, we're having I've decided it will be the first annual because I've decided I'm going to do it again. But we are having the first Strength of a Woman Empowerment Brunch. It's a mouthful, but I felt like it was fitting, especially for the main topic. I felt like it was fitting, and so we will be having the brunch. We have 3 amazing speakers. Dr. Arlene Penn is one of them, and I can't wait to hear her speak. The nerves are there, but it's just to hear her speak. We also have Dr. Charlene Lewis of the Wellness Center. She will be there. And we have Dr. Michelle Martin of Therapy to Thrive. So the idea behind the brunch is, yes, to focus on PCOS, but I also wanted to be more inclusive to our women, because not everybody has PCOS.
Yes.
Somebody might have endometriosis, somebody might suffer from fibroids. You know, there's a lot of things that affect our reproductive health that women are just in silence about. And I feel like we all need that encouragement. We need that strength to move forward, to know that whatever it is we may be going through, that we can make it. And so the slogan that I came up with was face it, fight it, win it.
Yes.
Because I've decided that PCOS ain't gonna beat me, Cathy. Ain't happening.
Yeah.
Ain't happening.
I've been hearing so many other testaments, because the biggest fear about it is reproducing and being able to have kids. And we're hearing some people come and say, yeah, I suffer with that, but with XYZ, I have 2 kids, I have 3 kids, I have a barrage, I have an army.
And so it's just the strength you need. PCOS, it can be very, very, very hard on you, especially mentally. And it's that push and the strength. I think people just need that extra, it's gonna be okay, you know. And I think that's what this brunch is gonna do. I'm excited to share my story. It's a vulnerable place for me. I've been sharing it amongst my little community, you know, my friends and stuff, but now I'm out there. So it's kind of a little bit nice, you know.
What are some of the questions that make sure that you're like, you want to really talk about it?
Yes, so people is like, you know, people gonna think that you can't have kids.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I want people to stop thinking and to stop saying, because that's not what it means. I will have kids. I will have the 4 kids that I want.
Oh, wow.
Okay? And I'll have my 3 boys and 1 girl. Yes.
Prophetic. So we're going to be watching you. We're
Yes.
going to be tracking your life.
Yes. You know, I think that's one of the biggest stigmas that I want to break with this thing, is that you can't have kids, because that's basically when you're diagnosed with PCOS, especially when you're diagnosed really young, they say, just get on birth control, it'll regulate your cycle. You don't have to worry about anything until you want to have kids. And then you go back when you're closer to wanting to have kids. Oh, well, you know, you might not be able to have kids. And then that's it. Because PCOS is not a thing that's studied a lot. It's not, new technology is coming up now. They're really looking into it more now. But when I was diagnosed in high school.
Oh, so early?
When I was diagnosed in high school, it was just, let's put you on a pill to regulate the cycle. We'll deal with everything else after that. And girls as young as 13 can be diagnosed with PCOS.
Oh, you care to talk about how you got to be diagnosed at that age?
Yeah, I don't have a problem sharing. So in high school, I was maybe in second form, and you know, it was the first time. Was it my first time? Well, you know, I had already gotten my cycle and stuff, and I would have my cycle, but it would be extended. And as a girl in high school, you have to go to the bathroom. We all know as women, you have to go to the bathroom. You don't want nobody see your little bag with your stuff. And I would just always have to go to, you know. And so I would complain to my mom. Sometimes I would have very painful periods and stuff like that. I would complain to my mom, and, you know, she decided to take me to get checked and stuff. And being diagnosed with PCOS is not just, there's no one test that you have to do. They test your hormones, they do ultrasounds, all that good stuff. And so you, as a teen, you have to meet all three of the markers. So you have to, they do your hormone testing, they do ultrasounds, and there's one more thing, and it's skipping me right now.
Yeah, that's okay.
But once you have all 3 of those markers as a teen, then you're officially diagnosed with PCOS. As an adult, it's 2 of 3.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So some women are diagnosed with PCOS later on in life, sometimes after they have their first child. So it's a really tricky thing.
You said after they have their first child. Listen, we gotta be at this.
Yeah, you know.
To delve more into this. But why did you come up with that catchphrase? Face it, fight it, and in the end, win it.
I think it's how I live my PCOS journey, because I have to wake up every day and face PCOS. I have to wake up every day and know that this thing is here. I won't say being a burden, but this thing is here, attached to me, going to work with me, going to the grocery store with me. I have to face it all the time. And to get what I want, to get these 4 babies that I want so much, I have to fight it. I have to find ways to fight and be on top of it every single day. And then in the end, I know and I believe and I trust God that I will win it. And so I felt like that was just a perfect way for me to express what this brunch will do for me and for the women that attend.
Awesome. At any point, since you would have started the journey wearing a crown and a sash and preparing to go on an international stage, but while you were home here, have you been having any second thoughts at any time? I said, listen, I didn't know that this is how persons were going to latch on to this. Am I really ready to handle this, having a career and all of that, and dealing with this advocacy?
I have second thoughts, not regret.
Okay.
Just am I ready to be this vulnerable? I also have to think about it's not me alone. It's also my husband, and he also has to live it. because he will forever be known as the husband of Mrs. COVID 2024. Or director Alicia, she calls him Mr. BVI. So, you know, he will always be known as that. And he will always be the husband of the woman who has PCOS, who spoke about it. And I sometimes think about him because I don't ever want his life to be harder because of what I decided to do. But I also think about the woman who doesn't have the support that I do. My friends are amazing. My mom is amazing. I call them to complain about a pain or something. I could call them 5 times. They'll answer, you know. And I want to be that person for somebody else who doesn't have what I have. And so I do sometimes have second thoughts, but, you know, the end result that I'm looking for just it overthrows it. Yeah.
We're going to hear a whole lot about this when we meet on Sunday.
Yes,
so how can persons attend?
So we have tickets on sale. They are $75. You can contact any WIN BVI member to get your tickets. And it will be held, I don't think I said the place, but it will be held at the Morin's Dining Room. We don't have a set dress code, but it's just off of Easter, so we're looking for those pastels, those floral colors.
Yeah, like,
you know, like my jacket right now. Yes, you know, so it's gonna be a fun time. We have a DJ. It's just gonna be an amazing time, and so we're inviting everyone to come out, you know, to experience this extra strength that we need to go through. The first quarter of the year is over, and I think it's just in time for us to get that extra push to go through the rest of the year.
What do I get for $75 apart from the wealth of information, the interaction?
So when you come, our main thing is we have bottomless mimosas. What's a brunch without mimosas? Listen, so we have bottomless mimosas. We have some little trinkets that, you know, if you come, we'll be able to hand out. And then it's just, you get love. When you come there, you know, we do have a brunch. It's a brunch, so we have food there. Yeah. But you get love, you get information. We do have bottomless mimosas, and we may have some trinkets for some of our women coming.
And most of all, the interaction.
And the interaction and the love.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you, when I reposted the flyer, well, I circulated it a long time ago, and then last night, as we were communicating, I decided to push it up some more, and it was so touching to see less than 5 minutes after I was getting calls from women saying, man, I really, really want to attend this brunch. I really want to participate. I really want, because, you know, I have a friend who has a challenge. I have a challenge. 2 persons said, you know, I'm facing some situations and it's hard for me to find the right people to talk to, and I, you know, want to come, but I can't afford right there. And then I got on my phone and I was like texting up some people, listen, help us to sponsor some women to go to this. So if you're out there and you know that you can help a woman to attend, $75 can go a very far way. And let me see the flyer for the number.
Yes.
Do you know it off your head?
I actually don't.
The number to call for tickets is 440-4122. 440-4122. And you can catch Armoy anywhere around. Yeah. Even if you want to reach out to us here at JTV, just send a WhatsApp and we will try to see how we can do. We want you to buy some tickets to some women, because a lot of them want to come.
Correct. And I mean, I said I wasn't going to do this, but as an ambassador for the WIN BVI organization and as a voice for women out there, you can also contact me. Personally, if you want to get your tickets. So my telephone number is 284-345-3823. That's 345-3823. So you can also contact me to get your tickets, to ask a question. You went to the doctor, he said you got PCOS, you know what to do? You could call me as well.
Awesome, my girl. I wanted to just shower you with love.
Thank you.
And you do it with such I don't even know the right phrase to use, but always with a bright smile and an open heart.
It's grace, girl.
It's
It's
grace.
grace.
Yes, grace. All right, so the event is titled, and I have to open back my phone again. It's locked. Remind me the name.
It's the Strength of a Woman Empowerment Brunch.
Okay, and
Yes,
that's on
April
Sunday,
7th.
April 7th.
Maureen's dining room, and we begin at 11 a.m.
Okay, yeah, we didn't say
Yes,
time.
we did the time, yes. So we begin at 11 a.m. at the Maureen's dining room. And like I said before, we're encouraging all women, doesn't matter if you have PCOS or not.
Come and learn something.
Come and learn something. Even if men would like to attend to see how they can support their partners, because it's very tough to do it alone. You guys are welcome as well. You know, we have a little table for you, so don't be shy. You guys can attend as well.
Okay, Armoy, thank you so much for sharing, and thank you for having such great courage and strength. And Dr. Arlene T. Penn, your work has been accomplished.
Yes, ma'am.
You did what you set out to do. I want to thank you so much for joining us for this edition of The Big Story. I am Kathy Richards.
We know that where you choose to bank matters, and it is your vote on what your funds do in strengthening our community. As your official Bank of Paradise, we invest and support the lifeblood of our economy by helping in the realization of personal goals for homeownership, education, and entrepreneurial visions, which support small businesses. We make it our place to connect with persons and worthy causes, and we have been doing so for more than 30 years. Where your money goes and what your dollars empower are your choice. And we thank you for choosing us, a bank that gives where it matters the most, for you, for our community, and a happier tomorrow. The National Bank of the Virgin Islands.